Hello, hello, hello. And I hope that I'm live. I hope that you can see me. I hope that you can hear me. And I hope that you can feel my vibe. So welcome to this broadcast. It's the first of three. It's a trilogy. And today we're going to talk about the head part of being visible, what it really takes to be visible. So I'm just going to check on a second device down here just to make sure that I am actually broadcasting and I'm actually streaming. So if you or somebody you know has decided, not even this year, not even this summer, but this spring, you want to show people about your products, your services, you want to put yourself out there, you want to put your value out there in the world, then welcome to this first of three around being visible, putting yourself out there and getting out there. So today I'm going to talk about the piece of where to start this from. I'm going to share three things that you can do right now to put yourself out there. I'm going to let you know that if you've never heard from me before, this is absolutely live. I don't use scripts. I make notes and I plan what I want to share, but I don't use scripts. And this is all around you being visible, you being seen, you being heard, and how to start off, or the place to start when you put yourself out there. I want to let you know that this comes from a tried and tested system. This is something that I've done for the last 10.5 years with thousands of people who have been one-man band businesses, authors, speakers, consultants, as well as, you know, execs and people within a corporate or business setting. So it's not a case of does this work? This is a case for you of how do you make it work? And the very things that I'm sharing with you have got me to places like speaking at various different conferences, both paid and also places like Google, the most nerve-wracking speaking event I think I've done over the years, as well as doing a lot of stuff online and having quite a reach internationally of different people. That's literally it about me. What I want to share today is the reason why I do this work. I'm known as the queen of being seen, not because of me being visible or my visibility. It's everything to do with you. I know that you have a voice. I know that your voice matters. And I know that even just one thing that you say can definitely change the room of the people you're in, can change the world. And for many of you, you are difference making people. You want to make a difference. You want to do something in the world that changes life. For many of you, it's quite transformational. And I remember parts of this system actually came from my own pre-business owning life. I worked in financial services. I was a senior exec, and I quadrupled my income in under 2 years. Brilliant, I hear you say, whoopee-doo for you. But that's not what's important. What's important was what happened after that. I had a crisis of confidence as a fairly confident person, a crisis of confidence that had me doubt myself, that had me take a 60% pay cut, that had me wonder whether all of this was a happy accident and whether I could do it again, let alone teach it to other people. So here's how this started. I made a decision, and I made a decision that I wanted career progression. It was as simple as that. I wanted career progression, so I went on my merry way to make that happen. So the first thing that I want to share with you today is when it comes to the head part of something, you do need to have some sort of vision. Once you've got a vision, then you can make a plan. And there's a very well-known saying that I share, and it's set your goals in stone, but your plans in sand. This is part of creating a vision for what you want. This needs to fit in with your life. It needs to fit in with your business. It needs to fit in with what you do. So it's really important for you to take time out to create that vision, to map out those goals. Out of many of the people that I work with, I would say a high 75% of them have an idea of where they want to be headed to, but they don't have clarity around that vision. So maybe the place for you to restart today, because I know that many of you are successful doing what you do in the way you do. I know that many of you have an idea of where you want to be headed to, but the lack of internal clarity for you is actually what stops you. I know this because people tell me, I'd love to do video, but I'm not ready for it yet. If you've got a vision, somewhere where you want to aim towards, somewhere where you want to go, this will be helpful. So something that I do want to say is while I'm on here, just for 30 minutes, and that's the time that we've got for today, if you've got questions that you want to ask me, there's 3 places that you might be watching this right now. You might be watching this from my Facebook page, which is The Queen of Being Seen, or Jenny Kovacs at The Queen of Being Seen. You might be watching this from my Facebook group, the Visibility Vibes Tribe, or you might be watching this on my YouTube channel. Now, the place where I'm going to be most active is going to be from my Facebook group. So if you see me looking down, this is my second phone. If you've got questions, please type them below. It doesn't matter if you haven't authorised StreamYard to say who you are. I'll see the question and I'll answer it live while I'm on here. Because after that, the only way you can get to pick my brains and answer me questions is by working with me or one of my kind of courses in some form of capacity. But that's not what I'm going to be talking about today. I'm going to be talking about, I'm just making sure that I'm live on here so I can see your comments. So I'm going to be talking about the mindset, and I've already spoken about the vision. If you don't have a vision, it's like saying that you want to go somewhere up there in the country that you're in, but not really defining exactly where. So a couple of things that I ask people to do when I get to work really closely with them is to think about their business. I mean, are you an employed executive or are you a business owner? Are you a speaker or are you a coach, or are you both, you know? Are you an author? So part of your visibility is all the blood, sweat and tears that you're pouring into your book, and you want more people to see your book, to read your book, and then to go on to buy the products and services that come as, you know, as a piece of that. These things are different for everybody, and that's why it's great to spend some time on this. In fact, at the beginning of the year, which feels like a natural time to do this, I actually ran a couple of masterclasses for various organisations and right here online about goal setting for greatness. Goal setting doesn't mean that you pick something out of thin air, you make a goal, and then you bash hard towards it. It means that you get moments of clarity where you are able to vision or envision what you want to do when it comes to putting yourself out there and being visible. Once you've done that, then it makes it much easier to proceed to the next piece. So then the next piece is around being very, very clear on how you want to be visible and where you want to be visible. Now, in order to get there, I refer to something that I think makes it easy to remember, and that's the ABC. Simple as that. There are 3 components to when you're thinking about putting yourself out there and being visible. So the first one will be your audience. When you get clear on who your audience are specifically, I'm not necessarily talking about niching, but knowing their characteristics, knowing their trait. Are they like you? Are they completely opposite to you? Where do they hang out? What do they talk about? What do they worry about? What do they struggle with? When you get clear on all of those sorts of things, it makes it far easier for you to show up and be visible, because now you're putting yourself out there and you're not trying to hit lots of different people and hope that they get what you're saying or get what you're putting out there. It feels very aligned, it feels very in flow, it feels fun, and it's helpful and helps the start of the transformation for the people that you help. So knowing who those people are specifically will help. And again, when I get to work with people closely, they might have been pressing their nose up against the window pane of some other coach's life or someone else's life who they admire and emulating what they do for success. And I know that doesn't work. I know this because I think it's possible for you to make, 4 figures, 5 figures and more in sales on a monthly or even, dare I say, weekly basis, so that you get to put your work out there to the people that you love doing. But who are those people? And now, if you're listening to this and thinking, gosh, how can I get this all together? I'll make sure that I put a link underneath this. I've got a link where you can sign up and actually get a 1-pager on this sort of information. So if you sign up to the list on the link, if I can even say it, that I'll put in after this, you'll be able to get your own Get Out There guide, and I'll share some of these, kind of like worksheets where you can sit in the garden, by yourself, with whoever you want to, and start to map this out. Now, the next part of the ABC, making it easy to remember, is B for business. It's interesting how many people over the years have said things to me like, I want to be an international speaker and I've got a young family. Those two don't always tend to match unless you're doing speaking gigs that are online. If that's the case and you've got the young family, it's not that you can't do this. You need to be able to build your business in a way that works for you. I'm really strong on business hours. I'm really strong on, even though you're the person that might be kind of in charge of how you put yourself out there, not working 15, 16, 18-hour days every day. Sometimes it's necessary, sometimes it is necessary, but you shouldn't be doing this all of the time. This kind of speaks to something that I'm not going to cover on this trilogy. In the visibility activator system, when you get to the fourth pillar, we talk about energy and ways to maintain your energy. And this is super, super important. I don't want anybody learning how to be visible, putting themselves out there and burning out in the process. In fact, I want you to be visible in a way that your products, your services are seen by the people that are watching and are sold by you. Otherwise, what's the point? So being able to construct and build your business in the way that you want. Let me ask you a couple of questions. For you at the moment, is building your business more around creating an income in your business? Is it about creating consistency in your business or consistent income in your business? Is it about changing the business structures so they suit you so you're not burning out? Is it about you becoming known? Is it about you becoming even more known? Is it about you reaching a wider audience? If that's the case, then point A is your jumping on ramp to start off from. But point B is all around your business and the structures and the boundaries that you put around your business so that you can allow income to come in the way that you want to, doing what you want, not doing what you think the market wants and hating every moment of it. This is something that I think if I tried to stand here and teach something that I hated, you would know, you'd feel it. I wouldn't even need to say it. Something wouldn't feel right and you wouldn't want a part of it. So I think this is a really important thing. If you've got a family or commitments that you're building your business around, make sure that you're building it in a way that serves you. Work with somebody that understands you. Work with somebody that helps you to see more of who you are yourself. So then the third piece of the ABC, of course, is the C. Now, C isn't for clients because that actually comes and kind of feeds through the A, the audience, the B, the business. C is for credibility. Now, here's why this ABC works in the way that it does and plays out in the way that it does. If nobody knows how great you are at what you do, you can be as credible as you like, but if you have no audience, nobody hears it. If you have no business, you're not able to monetize that. You're not able to do the things that you love. You're probably not able to pay your bills. You might not even be able to pay your taxes. You probably don't even have taxes. And one of the things that I find in with business owners, especially SMEs, and I've worked with people in different ways, is that if you want to kind of cross certain lines and get to certain pivotal points within your business, you will need help to do it. You can't always do it alone. I really learned the hard way of trying to do everything by myself. That leads to overwhelm. So not something I recommend. So when you're looking to be more credible, it's all about letting people know why you're the person doing it, why they're the person that loves it, why you're the person that's providing this particular product or service, why this is a good time for them to jump into it and do it now. And also why it's you, like why it's, I want to say especially or specifically you that's doing it. You know, I have really good experience of being visible in a place where I wasn't controlling my visibility. I wasn't in control of my visibility. I was an employee. I did this for myself. I then went on to help other people to do this. And because I've done this now so many times for other people, I know that it's a repeatable process that can be repeated again and again. You'll never hear me say, do it my way or the highway. You'll hear me say, here are your 5 pillars. Here's a framework that you get to put your personality and your work through it so that it works for you. But you'll never hear me say it's my way or the highway. It's too restrictive and it doesn't work for everybody. And this is about you being able to do this initially with me and then by yourself out in the world to keep building credibility. Now, some of the ways that I've built credibility over the years, I would say kind of one of my most favourite moments is, and I call these my pinch me moments, is doing a BBC 5 Live segment here in the UK with Nikki Campbell. I was like the coach on call for half an hour. And we were talking about careers, specifically or namely career changes. And I remember people would dial in, tell Nikki Campbell their stories, and then the questions would be kind of like deflected over to me. So somebody in this particular situation, Jenny, what would you advise? I love doing that. And here's why I love doing that. It wasn't that it was on the BBC. It wasn't that even it was with Nikki Campbell, although Nikki Campbell is an absolute legend in my eyes, a real true professional, really adept at getting the most out of the listeners, the most out of his audience, and the most out of his guests as well, in a really natural and professional way. For me, it was around the ability to be able to know that just something that I've shared, something that I've said has helped lots of other people, almost like a one-to-many piece. You know, and I know this because people contacted me that I'd never even heard of or, you know, seen before to let me know what they got from just that short segment. I want that to be something that you experience, not just once, not just as a one-off. I want you to experience it a lot. And the reason that I want you to experience it a lot is it builds your internal confidence. Now, remember, I talked about a crisis of confidence. So in order to do this, you don't, you know, have to be underconfident. You don't have to be shy or retiring. You don't even have to be an introvert, you'll be pleased to know. All you need to do is to know that when you are doing the stuff that you do in the way that you love, it feels almost effortless. You feel like you're in the zone and it helps many people. So you've got your vision, you've thought about what you're putting out in the world. You've now kind of mapped out the audience part, the business part, the credibility part. What I would suggest you do is definitely, thank you for the love hearts, whoever that was. Unfortunately, I can't see any comments on here, so I keep looking back to see. You know, I'll keep checking back. But here's the thing. We look at the different ways that we can be effective in the world, that we can help people in the world, that we can change through the ABC. We've got our vision and our plan. The next piece is thinking around how we think about this. Now, I'm going to refer to this as the mindset. So I talk about the head, the heart, and the hands. This is the head piece. But what I don't want you to think is that mindset is about just about affirmations, chanting, trying to do the thing that you do. I want you to think about mindset as being the way that you think about stuff. And if there is nothing else that I've shared on this live stream, here's the thing that to me is probably the most important thing. And that's around you creating a life that you love. It's around you creating a business that you love. And it's about you creating a visibility journey that feels easy for you. Something that's doable. Now, recently I held a 3-day event and I shared with the attendees who were from the UK. We had a lovely lady from Ireland and we had some people from the US. Some people even registered from Australia. God knows how they did the time zones, but they were able to watch back. And one of the things that I felt really led to share and very passionate about, and I still do this even after 10.5 years of being a visibility specialist and an expert. When I look at the plans that I make and I break them down so they're a bit more manageable than this year I want to do this thing, or, you know, next year I want to do that. When I looked at those plans, it was around the mindset, the way I think about things. And this is especially important. I can't even talk about the way we think about things without mentioning what's happened globally. Now, here in the UK, we came out of lockdown yesterday. I'm looking forward personally to my hairdressing appointment, and I might even get my nails done, although that's not actually something that I do a lot, get my nails done. But I'm looking forward to this because I'm looking forward to the possibility that it will now show the people that in the last year have chosen to work deeply so that when lockdown happens, if lockdown happens again, which I think it will, you can effortlessly and consistently move between the offline online business model. But in order to do that, we have to think differently. Like, imagine this. I don't know what it's been like for you. We can be bombarded by a world outside of our business that tells us people won't buy your products and services unless they're essential. People don't want to come anywhere near what you're offering. People aren't going to give any focus or mind or attention to the stuff that you do. And I want to tell you that's not true. You know, in the last month alone and the last quarter alone, I reflect back not only on my journey, but those of my clients and even the people that I get to work close up personally with. Some of them have had amazing months, financially, client-wise, visibility-wise. If it's possible for them, it's possible for you. So the first thing that I would want you to go into the mindset, i.e. thinking differently, is how you can be different in the world and what can be different for you. Wayne Dyer very famously said, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. So that includes and means your approach to being visible, your approach to putting yourself out there, your approach to getting out there. What needs to be different? And create your world from that place. About 13 months ago, I, like many of you, we were all in the same boat but a different storm. We saw the world change in a way that many of us have never experienced in our lifetime. It affected our friends, our family, the planet, our businesses, the way we perceived ourselves. But I'm really glad to say, 12 months, 13 months down the line, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. I decided that I wanted to be part of something positive that created a solution that could really help people, tangibly help people in this arena, in this area. And that's what I created. I didn't even necessarily say, I want more business, I want more clients, I want more credibility, I want to be known more. I just wanted to almost create a bubble within the world that let people know, people like me, people like you, know what's possible. The place to start from that is the vision, looking at the audience, the business, the credibility. The place to start from that is defining what you want and how you want it and working from that space. So a couple of other things that I did to start off with. Because I decided this is what I wanted to do, I wanted to make sure that people knew things were possible and went from that space. It actually made what came next easier to create. I didn't say to myself, well, it's August, it's summer, so people aren't going to want to be interested in attending an event. No, I ran the first 3-day event in August. I didn't say or ignore what I could see out in social media, where people were having very, very difficult conversations following the murder of George Floyd. People didn't know what to say, how to say it, and were worried about cause and offence. In my world, I wanted to show possibility. So I created that space to help people see what was possible. And visibility for difficult conversations was born. Now, what most people don't know about that was born in 8 days. I saw what was going on online. I'm not a diversity and inclusion trainer. I'm not a race relations or racial history trainer or Black history trainer. But I knew that I could help people to be visible even when they felt pressurized, even when they felt uncomfortable, even when they didn't know what to say. And that's because I think I created the world that I wanted to live in and created the opportunity, not just for myself, but for the other people that kind of jumped in and stepped into that. And you can do this too. All you need to do is go back and look at what's the vision that you want to create. Do this on a regular basis. Some people will do this even on a yearly basis or every couple of years. I'm constantly going back and checking. In fact, on a monthly basis, anyone who's worked with me privately will remember the head office days. with fondness. Look at, you know, a review of what's been going on just the month before or the quarter before, and then look at how you want to recalibrate moving forward. So combining that and doing it from a place, in my case, of possibility and opportunity is what's most important. When you create possibility for yourself, you create possibility for others. When you create possibility for others, you create an amazing ripple effect. When you create a ripple effect, you create amazing transformations. So your only action now is to come back here tomorrow, same time. We'll talk about the heart, i.e. the passion of what it takes to be visible. I'll drop some golden nuggets for you there as well. And then we'll come back on Thursday, same time, and we'll talk about some actual things that you can do. And for those of you that want to know more about how you can continue this journey so that you are visible, so that you are putting yourself out there this spring, this summer, and this year, I'll let you know how you can do that on Thursday. But for now, if you've just joined this or you're watching this on the replay, watch through. It's half an hour. You know, really look at where you want to be and what you want to make possible in your world, in your business. Follow the exercises. And if you're new to me, or maybe you're known to me, but you haven't received your Get Out There guide, if you're one of the vibers, you'll see a link in the group. If you're not part of the group, please feel free to go over on Facebook and join. I'll ask you 3 very quick questions, and once you answer those, you'll be let in. On the Get Out There guide, you've got the 5 key pillars, and you've also got a nice one-pager for putting yourself out there on social media, in this case, and professionally on LinkedIn. So I can't wait to hear the insights and the nuggets. I'd love to hear, wherever you're watching this, because I will go around and check everywhere, what's the one thing that you took away from this? Or what's the biggest thing that you took away from this? If you want a private conversation, by all means, then post in the Visibility Vibes tribe. I'd love to hear what your nuggets are. I'd love to see you back here again tomorrow. I'd love to take your questions while we're live. So I'll see you again here tomorrow. Have a look at the link, grab your guide, and see you then. Bye for now.